Hello, everybody. My name is Toby, and I'd like to introduce you to my colleague Eric. What we're going to do
There.
today, we're going to give a demonstration of the CinQ video game. Our video game is focused on leadership and teamwork development. So it should always begin with, well, what problem are we solving? That's the most important thing to do. So I'm going to ask Eric to change the slide, which is done. So understanding what we're about is that we're actually focused on helping organizations and helping teams understand that business normal, business experience as they're focused on now is actually the problem. As things speed up, as things become more complex, as the environment changes through technological and scientific revolutions and disruptions, what we begin to see the main way that you can adapt to this change is through a multi-team mindset. And that means you're going to have to liberate your teams and your leaders from a traditional way of working and introduce them to empowerment, methods of making decisions that are focused on the team, and really, a new pedagogy. And that's what we're about with the CinQ video game. So, what is CinQ? Well, first and foremost, it's a video game, a next gen advanced learning video game. And it's about closing the skills gap between where you are now and where you need to be with soft skills, or as it's been rebranded, power skills. On a technical level, it's scalable. It can be multi-platform. In this case, it's on Mac OS, on Windows, and on Android. And it comes importantly with 360 feedback built into the game's infrastructure. It focuses on challenging a team's leadership and teamwork skills, and that's really what the game flow is about. You can't actually solve this game or complete its mission unless you are a high performing team. Everything that we've designed, 40 plus challenges, are about the team working together, setting goals, collaborating, solving problems, and executing through trial and experimentation. And as such, it's not a one time escape game, it's a professional tool designed to accompany some of the key programs that you can get from our website, in which we embed the game. For those of you who are gamers out there, one of the things to understand is it's Soulsborne-like. We are heavily influenced by Dark Souls and the level of difficulty. So difficulty remains high in this game, but it's a tool that we leverage. The game gets easy when your skills get better. The difficulty level in the game doesn't change. You get better at collaborating, you get better at communicating, you get better at problem solving as a group, then difficulty becomes easy. So what I'm going to do is put ourselves back in, Eric, and we move to an introduction. But as Eric's about in, and I actually put myself back in there, I just want to give a slight introduction to what we're going to do here. Importantly, the game genre is it's a multiplayer stealth heist game. Right? Heist means in this case, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go and steal a secret formula from the bottom of a headquarter building. So what we're actually seeing here is you've got two forces at play. You've got the Black Swan rebel team, who you are going to be part of, one of 5 players, and you've got the Circle, the bad corporation, the corporation dictators, bad dudes, etc. And you've got these two forces playing against each other. And here I'm going to hand over to Eric, because what he's about to do is to introduce the characters on the Black Swan team.
So yeah, the actual first step you get to when you start a game is this one, right? And what we're seeing here is one of the Black Swan characters you were talking about. This is the hacker. and I'm going to briefly show each character in turn and sort of explain who they are and what they do, right? This is actually an interesting point because th each character actually has a specific role within the team and its specific abilities. So here for the hacker, you can see above my head, their role is to bypass the basically computer security in the building. For that, they've got a specific set of tools, including a USB key to hack stuff. If I move over to the technician has infrared goggles and can bypass some of the physical security. Same for, so first we've got the acrobat, who actually is going to be the sort of skinny and light character who can go around the environment and get to hard to reach places, right? And the engineer who has, I believe it is an ultrasound detection system, which again serves to bypass some of the physical security inside the building. And finally, the planner. So now the planner actually has a slightly different role from the rest of the team because they will be the one who stays inside the van. Think of it very much like the person in an Ocean's 11 or a Mission Impossible who's got the mic inside the van and is guiding the team and making sure that they're getting to where they're supposed to go and doing what they're supposed to do, right? And just for a bit of flavor, we give the ability to customize your character a bit, right? So you get to choose a mask, you get to choose your body type. This serves for immersion, right? It helps people get into the flow of their character. Same for the background description, which you can see, which sort of tells you who you're playing and what they're about. Very much about that immersion side of things. Once you're ready, you then select the character and join the session. So, this is the first thing you see. You're in the van with your team, and you're going to have to plan your mission, right? So really quickly, the way this happens, you can see everyone holding tablets. I'm going to actually open this up. And it all happens here for the first part. You have your mission statement. So this is where it tells you, what your objective is. You have to go get that secret formula in the basement. Gives you a bit of background on what you're going to do and how you're going to have to do it. Again, you've got your profile, tells you about your character in case you missed it. And the real meat and potatoes is the map and the documents here. So we've got this map where you can see the Black Swan van, where you start, and the target building. And, you can jump around and see the different floors. The target in the basement here, this lab. And there's a few interesting things here we can see with the ventilation system, and we can go all the way up to the roof, etc. Now, if I jump over to the documents, I can see different documents here, and as I open them up, I've got lots of information. What we're doing here is we're basically giving you exactly the tools you need to understand what your objective is, plan your mission, and set a course for exactly what you're going to do. Except that, exactly like in a real meeting, there is a bit too much information. It's sort of lost in all the details of the documents. And interestingly, if I switch over to another character, right, they might not have the same information as you. Here I can see, well, I had an override key with the hacker. Well, I don't have it here with the acrobat. So you also have to share information and compare different things. So exactly like when you enter a meeting room, you're going to have to be pretty effective at saying, okay, so this is my information, and I'm going to share the relevant bits so that everyone can work together towards that objective. And in reality, what we're doing is we're creating a situation where summarizing information, making sure you're being clear and concise about what you share, about how you pull out the relevant bits, is a pretty complex thing. And this is incredibly powerful for a coach or someone observing to identify how the team works together. What are their habits in terms of setting up planning and setting up objectives, right? Have they set an objective? Have they agreed on a process? All that. So that's the first step is already an extremely powerful tool in terms of learning and understanding how a team works together. Without further ado, I'm sort of going to jump forward a bit and take us out of the van. Everyone except the planner, because as I mentioned earlier, the planner actually stays inside the van and has this sort of overview.
I
So
think the
I'm going
best
to
way,
exit here.
I think as
Yeah.
you're doing that out, I think the best way I mean, if you want more details, we have done a much longer video The purpose of this video is to give you an overview, but if you go to our website, you can actually see there's an hour plus where we've gone in depth. So we're trying to be economical with the time in this. One of the things to think about is to think about this whole process as if you were managing a project. And if you think of it from a business point of view like that, then all the things that you learn as you go through the game flow are transferable skills straight away to the work environment because of the nature of the learning process in this. So Eric, so I think one of
Yeah,
the things
absolutely.
here is, Eric, if you just pan round, you can see our environment. All right, we've actually designed this environment specifically. The way that we've actually put it together is if you go to our website or you get some of our documents, there's an extensive FAQ that talks about how every aspect of what we've designed is actually a game mechanic or particular psychological reasoning behind it in terms of immersiveness, in terms of presence. So if you have any questions around why did we do it like this, why is the light like that, why are our characters doing that, you can get all those answers either in the long video that we've done or you can get it off our FAQ on the website.
Right. So we've got these 10 main chapters plus the planning phase inside the van. And each of these represent a certain number of challenges and obstacles you have to get past to push further. So we're going to give you 3 examples of challenges that represent sort of the skills we're putting to the test pretty well. So this is one of the first situations we have. We're at the back of the building here, right? So you can see this is the target building from the circle headquarters, and we're trying to get in. So there are a few things we can interact with. Here we've got a door. There's clearly some sort of a key code to get in. If I switch over to our hacker here, there's this box. There may be something interesting with lots of blinking lights. But what I actually want to show you is that all these are actually systems that create our first collaboration challenge. And this is really a focus on how will the team work together. We see this big red light coming towards us. This is a drone, okay? And you'll see as the drone comes near me, the alarm level is going to start increasing. This is a test of how, as a team, you'll be able to share information, have each other's back, and sort of act as a group instead of acting as individuals. So as someone's trying to get into the back door, well, maybe someone else is looking out for the drone, that sort of stuff. It's a really simple puzzle. You just have to step out of the way when the drone approaches. But how you do it, your ability to plan that ahead of time and to execute it, is a test of your collaboration. So if we take that one step further, I'm going to move us a bit further into the game, and I'm going to show this time a communication challenge, right? How do we test that? Well, we've got this situation now where we're inside the building. We've gotten to inside. This is a security office. There's some interesting things. You can see a little card on the table I can take, stuff like that. So there are these characters trying to move around. Of course, it's a pretty complicated building. It's pretty dark out there. You can see things moving around. There's another drone. Well, they need help from the planner to get around. So the planner can sort of see them live. You can see the technician and engineer and guide them and help them. But while that's happening, we've actually got our acrobat stuck inside a ventilation system, trying to find a way out and a way into the building through this, right? Well, what happens is this is a maze and everything is relatively similar, so you are going to get lost. So, of course, the acrobat needs the help of the planner, who can see the acrobat and guide them through. We're creating 2 split communication channels, and you have to figure out how to handle that. How do you handle cross communication, right? The planner is going to have to take care of 2 sets of people, help them do different things, and that creates a communication challenge.
I think
These are early challenges.
I just want
Yeah,
to say, I think the best way to think about the planner is to think of him as an air traffic controller. All right,
yeah,
with multiple tasks taking at the same place. It's put tests on his role or their role, and how that integrates with all the other tasks that are going on with the team, etc.
yeah, absolutely. And that sort of ramps up, right? These are early challenges I'm showing, right? They're relatively simple. There's a simple system that tests a certain skill on the whole team. As we get further, right? So if I actually go to one of the later challenges, and move over to my technician here, Well, things start to get a bit more involved, and you start to have multiple team members having to interact together to get something working. So I've got this room here, which on the map is labeled as pressure sensor room. And it's a bit ominous, right? It doesn't look like much. But if I actually switch over to my planner, quick cut here, because I have to do that, which is not an issue.
Hack
1, 2,
CT2,
3.
right?
Yeah, it's okay. I'll just cut that. Um, if I switch over to my planner here, I actually get something interesting where when I go to the floor, at some point I actually got access to cameras. This appeared. Well, now what I can do is I can look into this room and haha, look, you can see something on the floor. So there's actually an extra level of challenge here because at this point in the game, what would actually have happened is that the camera system would be cut off entirely, right?
Mm.
So you would then have your engineer and your technician trying to help you find different ways through to get the camera system back on. So we're entering a system where you have every single person in the team trying to get together to solve this one single thing. And so we've ramped the level of communication and collaboration difficulty up a notch. Right.
I think the best way to think about that is it ramping is right, but actually what we've done is, another thing is we've scaled it so that the difficulty at the beginning of the game workflow is relative to their skills, which, to be perfectly honest, is going to be zero, in terms of collaboration. And then as they go through each point, I mean, a chapter represents a number of challenges in and of itself. It's not the challenge. It's not like this. It's not like there's 10 or 11 challenges. These are stages within the game, and as they go through them, then your skills increase, and therefore, what happens is as your skills increase, yes, the challenges increase as well, but you're more organized to be able to meet those challenges. I think that's the best way to think about it, Eric.
Absolutely. And so, now in the background, I'm just going to show you a few more of the environments, hint at a few puzzles. I'm not going to give too much away, right? That's not the objective. But all this gives you a pretty interesting idea of sort of the complexity that can be reached and the level of collaboration that this is going to require just by having people take care of all these tasks and get to that point where they're really functioning as a unit instead of as just individuals in a meeting or, in a heist, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
No, it does make sense. So just to finish off, everybody, I mean, the purpose of the game is not the game itself. The purpose of the game is it's an enabler. Typically, the game is used within one of our programs, which you can access on our website, playsank.com. I'd like to say thank you very much, Eric. And I would just like to say for people to, if you really help us out, if you like what we did, please press like. If you'd like to get more content from us, please press subscribe. And everybody, we'll see you on the next one.